If I knew this sooner, my financial life would be completely different. That's what John said after applying a single concept that millionaires know, but he was never taught in school. In less than a year, he went from living paycheck to building his first financial safety net. And he's not alone. Ordinary people who've learned and applied these secrets have completely changed their relationship with money. Now, the question is, do you want to stay where you are, or are you ready to learn what really makes a difference in your financial life? Here are 5 financial secrets they never taught you in school, but the wealthy use all the time. 1. Make your money work for you. If you know how most people spend their entire lives trading time for money, they work, get a paycheck, and spend it all, or almost all, waiting for the next one. But the wealthy do things differently. Instead of just working for money, they make money work for them. This means investing smartly so that, over time, your money generates more money without you having to grind as hard. Here in the US, this mindset is clear among millionaires. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in the world, started investing early and reinvested his profits. He understood early on that by putting his money to work through investments, he could grow his wealth without increasing his working hours. The secret lies in compound interest, which makes money grow exponentially over time. Imagine you invest $500 a month in a fund that yields 10% per year. In 1 year, you'll have invested $6,000. But instead of simply adding that amount, compound interest kicks in. At the end of 10 years, you won't just have $60,000, the total invested, but something around $100,000, thanks to the accumulated returns. Now, imagine that over 30 or 40 years, the growth becomes massive. Wealthy Americans are always looking for assets that work for them: stocks, real estate, their own businesses, and even patents or copyrights. The idea is simple. Instead of just receiving a salary and spending it, they put a portion of that money into investments that generate returns. That's why a successful entrepreneur can be on vacation while their net worth continues to grow. If you haven't started investing yet, you're wasting time and money. The most common mistake is believing you need a lot of money to start. But the opposite is true. Most big investors started small. The important thing isn't how much you invest at the beginning, but the consistency over time. Then 2, your salary will never make you rich. Most people spend their whole lives believing that the path to wealth is a good job and a high salary. But that's a trap that keeps many stuck in the same financial cycle. The problem with a salary is that it depends directly on your time and effort. If you stop working, the money stops coming in. The wealthy understand that the real path to financial freedom is having multiple income streams that continue to generate money, regardless of your daily work. In the US, millionaires rarely rely on just one income stream. A study by the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, showed that most people who accumulate large fortunes have at least 3 different sources of income. This can include investments in stocks and real estate, their own businesses, royalties from books or music, among other forms of passive income. A classic example of this is Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon. In the beginning, Amazon was just an online bookstore, but over time, he diversified his income streams. Today, in addition to product sales, Amazon profits from cloud services, AWS, advertising, and even Amazon Prime subscriptions. The result? Even if one sector declines, other income streams continue to sustain and increase his wealth. The big difference between those who get rich and those who just live on a salary is that the wealthy turn money into assets. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket, like an investment that generates dividends or a rental property. Those who depend only on a salary are usually stuck with liabilities, like car loans, credit cards, and bills that drain their money every month. If you want to get out of this trap, you need to start building income streams beyond your job. It can be something small at first, like investing in REITs, real estate investment trusts, creating a digital product, or even starting a side hustle. The important thing is to start generating money that doesn't depend directly on your time and daily effort. The ultimate goal isn't just to earn more money, but to earn money more efficiently. When your passive income streams become greater than your expenses, you achieve financial independence. At that point, you can work because you want to, not because you have to. And that completely changes your relationship with money and time. The first step to making money work for you is to change your mindset. Instead of seeing money as something to spend, see it as a tool to generate more money. Small financial habits, like investing a fixed percentage of your salary every month, can make a huge difference in the future. The financial game isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. 3. Debt can be good if you know how to use it. Most people grow up hearing that being in debt is bad, and that the secret to a financially secure life is avoiding any kind of debt. However, that's an incomplete view. The wealthy not only accept debt as part of their financial strategies, but they also use it as leverage to increase their wealth. The difference is in how the debt is used. While most people go into debt to buy liabilities, the wealthy use debt to acquire assets. In the US, this strategy is widely applied by investors and entrepreneurs. A classic example is the real estate market. Many millionaires, including names like Robert Kiyosaki and Grant Cardone, use good debt to finance rental properties. They borrow money from the bank to buy properties, which are rented to others. The rent received covers the mortgage payment and still generates profit. That way, they use the bank's money to build wealth without having to spend all their own capital. On the other hand, most people go into debt to buy liabilities. That is, things that don't generate financial returns and only bring expenses. One of the most common examples is car loans. Many people take on long-term debt to buy a vehicle that loses value quickly and still generates monthly costs like insurance, maintenance, and fuel. This type of debt drains money instead of multiplying it. Another classic example of misused debt is credit cards. Millions of Americans go into revolving debt, paying very high interest rates on everyday purchases. They finance trips, clothes, and electronics without a clear plan to pay off the debt quickly. Meanwhile, the wealthy use credit cards strategically to accumulate rewards and cashback, always paying the full balance on the due date to avoid interest. The big lesson here is that debt can be a powerful tool if used correctly. If a loan allows you to buy an asset that generates income greater than the interest paid, then that's good debt. But if the debt only increases your monthly expenses without bringing financial return, it becomes a problem. The key to taking advantage of the positive side of debt is learning to differentiate it and use it intelligently. Before taking on any financial commitment, ask yourself, is this going to put money in my pocket or take it out? If the answer is the second option, it may be better to wait. If it's the first, you may be facing an opportunity to grow financially. 4. Saving everything never makes anyone rich. From an early age, we learned that saving money is essential to having a secure financial life. Phrases like "save money for the future" or "a penny saved is a penny earned" are repeated as absolute truths. But the reality of the financial market shows something different. Just saving isn't enough to get rich. Money sitting still, saved in a bank account or under the mattress, loses value over time due to inflation. In the US, this is even more evident. The average dollar inflation rate is around 2% to 3% per year, which means that if you save $10,000 in cash, in 10 years that money will have much less purchasing power. This happens because the prices of goods and services increase, but the saved money remains the same. Meanwhile, the wealthy do the opposite. They not only save money, but invest strategically so that it grows over time. A clear example is the stock market. If someone had saved $10,000 in the bank in 1990, today that money would have lost value. But if they had invested in the S&P 500 index, which represents the 500 largest US companies, the value would have multiplied several times. The same goes for those who invest in real estate, businesses, or other assets that appreciate over time. Another common mistake of those who only save is to focus exclusively on cutting expenses. Reducing expenses is important, but it has a limit. You can cut out breakfast, stop subscribing to streaming services, and reduce leisure, but your income will remain the same. The wealthy understand that, in addition to controlling expenses, it's even more important to increase earnings. They always look for ways to increase their income, whether through investments, ventures, or qualifications that generate better opportunities. In the business world, this mindset makes all the difference. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, didn't become one of the richest men in the world by saving every penny. He reinvested the company's money, expanded his business, and created multiple sources of revenue. If he had focused only on saving money, he would never have reached the top. The lesson here is clear. Saving without investing is a mistake. The secret to financial independence isn't about cutting spending to the maximum, but about learning how to make your money grow. The focus should be on increasing your earnings and investing intelligently, ensuring that money works for you and doesn't sit still losing value over time. 5. The golden rule: pay yourself. First, most people receive their salary and, before anything else, pay bills, buy what they need or want, and if there's anything left, think about saving. That's why so many people live on the financial edge, unable to save money or invest consistently. The wealthy do things differently. They pay themselves first. In the US, this strategy is widely used by successful investors and entrepreneurs. The concept was popularized by George Clason in the book The Richest Man in Babylon and reinforced by authors like Robert Kiyosaki. The principle is simple. Before spending a penny of what you earn, set aside a portion to invest and make your money grow. Imagine you earn $5,000 a month. Instead of waiting for money to be left over at the end of the month to invest, you set a rule. 10% of your salary goes straight to investments before paying any bills. Thus, $500 is already directed to assets that generate returns. The secret of this method is that you adjust your standard of living to what's left after paying yourself, and not the other way around. In the United States, many companies encourage this through plans like the 401k and the IRA, Individual Retirement Account, where money is withdrawn directly from the salary to be invested before the person can spend it. Those who use this strategy throughout their lives manage to accumulate great fortunes without needing an extraordinary income. The problem is that most people don't prioritize investments and end up spending everything they earn, becoming hostage to their salary. The great advantage of paying yourself first is that you don't have to rely on willpower. When the money comes in and already has a certain destination, you don't feel like you're depriving yourself and build wealth automatically. Over time, this invested money generates increasingly higher returns, and you get closer to financial independence without drastically changing your lifestyle. If you don't apply this rule yet, start now. Choose a percentage of your salary. It can be 5%, 10% or more, and direct that amount to investments before spending it on anything else. The important thing isn't the initial amount, but the consistency over time. Those who follow this rule build a secure financial future, and more importantly, don't depend on their salary to live well in the long run. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your life in 10 years. You wake up without financial worries. Your investments generate enough income to give you freedom, and you can finally choose how you want to live without depending on the next paycheck. Now, think of the opposite scenario. A decade has passed and nothing has changed. The same job, the same tight bills, the same feeling that money is never enough. The only thing that separates these two futures is what you decide to do today. The secrets you've learned here have already transformed the lives of thousands of people and can transform yours too. But knowledge without action is worthless. Those who apply these strategies see results. Those who ignore it stay in them. Same place, the choice is yours. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and comment below which of these strategies you already knew and which one you're going to start applying first.